gas guzzlers back here. I was going to go ahead and do a video on what I do to wash my car. As you can see, it's pretty dirty. It doesn't show up super well on camera, but it is dirty. So I was just going to go over how I wash mine. Everybody's method is going to be a little bit different. Some people are going to do this a lot better than I do. Some are going to do it a lot worse. What I like to do first is kind of look at what I'm dealing with. So I've got high profile areas on the car. So your high profile areas are going to be places that people are looking, right? High profile. And then your areas where there's going to build up the most debris, that's going to be your areas like your wheels, right around your trim, under your trim, or on the bottom side of your trim, back here where the tire kicks up, debris. Okay, so those are going to be your areas of that you'll have to really work with. Obviously your front is going to be a high maintenance area, or a high traffic area, and you're going to have quite a bit of debris on it too. Of course, it's chrome, so it doesn't show up too well on camera, but bugs, etc., anything flying off that gets stuck to it. So all the chrome is high traffic. Okay, everyone looks at your chrome, or looks at the chrome. It's just something that catches eyes. Okay, so we'll go ahead and throw this on the time lapse and get started. Alright, now that we've gone ahead and done that, as you can see, we've got quite a lot of the big stuff off. Not all of it, but most of it. So when you're doing low pressure, don't get too caught up in getting everything off. You know, like there's still stuff on this car, but the objective of low pressure is to get the stuff that wants to come off without turning it into something that is much harder to get off. So anything that, if you run it over once, twice, and it doesn't come off, it's not meant to come off with low pressure. Move on to the next step. All right, so the next step, for me, now this is where some people will just go straight into washing it. I'm going to give it another quick rinse with a little bit higher pressure to try and get the remaining bits off. That's just what I like to do. It's worked out pretty well for me so far, so I'm gonna keep doing it. And you guys, this is a video just giving out something that I've learned, some things that I've learned. So feel free to pick and choose what you want to use, what you don't want to use. It really doesn't matter. The objective is, if the car gets clean, it really doesn't matter how you get there, as long as you're not damaging the car. And that's really the whole point. So yeah, we'll go ahead and start the next step, which is going to be a rinse again with a little bit higher pressure. So real quick, I just wanted to go ahead and kind of show you when I'm washing the car what I'm doing. So first off, you want to go front to back, and the reason I do it this way is because on these older cars you've got your lip here, your what do they call that, your drain, your runoff, whatever. You've got this lip right here, which is very handy because it just shoots the water right off back here. Love them. And then on these older cars you don't get the best fit, so you're gonna have a nice little gap here, more than likely, unless you go ahead and spend a bunch of money to get that fixed. So because of that, when you're rinsing, you know, you see that you see how it's making that little waterfall down there, right? Just above that, okay, is see how it's funneling off there. So you're going to push that down the car slowly. And what that will do is it rinses off of it a lot better than if you just, so you push that runoff down the car all the way down it. And that's the best way for you to rinse off the debris, because you'll get your high pressure and then you'll get your lower pressure. So it's like a double-edged sword. So this is what the car is looking like afterwards. You can see we've still got a spot there, but for the most part, it's relatively clean right now. However, we haven't done our soap yet. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and I like to just take the soap and put a little in the hose. Now obviously if you have a gun, one of those foam guns, it's a much better alternative, but I don't have one. I went to a few autos, my O'Reilly's, my AutoZone. They didn't have one, so I'm just doing what I got, or using what I got. Now, funny enough, you would think that I would have one, considering I've owned a classic car for, over a year now, but responsibilities, people, responsibilities. So we'll go ahead and throw this back up, and I'll do a hyperlapse of me washing the car. When I say wash the engine bay, you don't just take your hose and run in there to it. No. You there's certain things that you can wash in the engine compartment, but you don't want to just go in there spraying. Okay, what you want to do is you want to get a wet rag and go in there and basically scrub away. So that's going to be the next step, is go in there, scrub away while I wait for some of this water to dry off, and then we'll go ahead and wax everything up and get the final finishing touches on us. And this car is not, it's a daily driver. Do I want it to look good? Yeah. Am I going to sit here for 7 hours or pay somebody, $200 to detail the entire thing? Absolutely not. I don't care that much. After all, I do too many burnouts and too many donuts in this thing, drifting it around, to really get the car, super clean. So we'll go ahead and finish this up, and I'll come back whenever we start to do the waxing. Or maybe I won't, I don't know. But I'll definitely be back to talk to you guys after we go ahead and get the outside shell done, and then we'll move on to the interior and go ahead and clean that up. Okay, so real quickly I want to explain what I did, because right before that I said you don't want to spray directly into your engine bay, and then I sprayed into my engine bay. So basically there are things in here that you do not want to get soaked. Okay, now first things first, you can get water in here. This is not a waterproof car. When you're driving in the rain, water will get in here. So yes, everything can get water on it. You don't want to get water on everything. Very important things to understand. You don't want to get your filter soaked. You don't want to get your alternator soaked. You don't want any water in the intake. There's you know, things like that to keep in mind. I mean, this right here will blow open, right? I'm not going to pull it out. It's actually in there pretty well. But anyway, you don't want to get water in the engine. You don't want to get water in any electrical components, so try and keep it off your battery as much as you can. So really what I did is I came in here with the mist setting on, and I was doing it very lightly, okay, to simulate just water coming in through the grill, okay? Water coming in through the grill, water coming in through between the hood when you're going, you know, you're going faster on the highways. Water will get in here quite easily and make its way back into the compartment. So that's what I was simulating, water coming in through here. Obviously you don't want to come in here with the jet setting on and just blast away. You'll get water in things that you don't want water in, so keep that in mind. You can get water in the engine compartment, you just want to do it carefully. As you can see, I missed a little bit of soap right there, so we'll come back and hit that in just a second. But you know, just be careful, be mindful, don't do anything stupid, and here in a second we will go ahead and move on to the interior, where I will show you me just washing off the interior. Now I know I don't go in here with a hose at all. I will go in here with a damp rag, and I will get some of the vinyl, and I'll get some of the plastic pieces, and then the aluminum trim, and we'll get everything set in stone and nice and polished up. And then we'll be back, and I could use distilled water and get rid of all these little drops, these little drop spots, but to be honest, that's kind of just how I am. I don't really care that much. It's a user car. I use this car. It's not a trailer queen or anything, so I'm not too worried about that. But if you are, definitely use distilled water. You can go to the store, pick it up for, you know, I'm not exactly sure how much it sells for. I don't buy it, but you can pick up a gallon for, I assume, not that much. So we'll go ahead and get back to this, and I will I guess the next time I'll be back will be when we're wrapping this up. So yeah, getting close to the end here. We're back, and all wrapped up here. So we got a nice clean car, and one thing to keep in mind is if you have good paint, your car's kind of gonna look good no matter what happens. You know, good paint is very much a key when it comes to getting these cars looking right. So this is all cleaned up, ready to go. It does take a while. Personally, I like to go ahead and just spend $6 and go wash my car. Not everybody wants to do that. Some people like to do it themselves. Not everyone wants to power wash their car, and that's fine. So this is a little bit of an alternative. It just takes a little bit more elbow grease. Now this is not a professional clean. It's just me going over it, to the best of my ability with what I am willing to, you know, the amount of time I'm willing to spend on it. But yeah, it's all clean, ready to go. So just that right there will get your car looking good, ready to go back on the road, get some waves, get some attention, which, let's be honest, is what most of us want anyway. A little bit of attention from them. At least I do. They're also just cool to drive, but I love seeing the waves and the smiles, the joy that it brings other people as well. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and wrap this up. But that's how I clean my car. There's going to be plenty of other ways to do it. It's not the only way. It's just the way that I use if I'm not going to take it up and get it washed. And it works well for me. Now, with all of this, you can adopt your own method, your style, things that you like, things that you don't like, and ultimately get, you know, with any luck, the perfect clean for you. But that for me, that's good enough for me. So we'll go ahead and end the video here. Thanks for watching. Bye.